En Estados Unidos, todos los niños, sin importar su estatus migratorio, tienen derecho a asistir a la escuela pública, pero ese derecho podría estar en riesgo. Hablé con la reportera de educación Carolyn Jones de CalMatters sobre su reportaje reciente respecto a este tema. Esto fue lo que nos dijo.
In 1982, the Supreme Court ruled that all children are entitled to a free public education in the United States, regardless of their immigration status. And that means schools typically do not ask students what their immigration status is. The Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank in the United States, has called for that Supreme Court ruling, which is called Plyler versus Doe, to be overturned, much like Roe versus Wade was overturned. And then Project 2025, which is kind of this conservative blueprint for the U.S., also calls for the end of Plyler versus Doe. And specifically, what they want to do is have schools start charging tuition to students who are not citizens, or to families, where maybe the parents aren't citizens, but the children are.
What are people who advocate for this change? What are they saying that are the benefits to doing that?
They say that schools spend money on educating children who are not citizens, and that money should be spent on educating children who are citizens.
What does this mean specifically for children in the U.S. that have no status whatsoever?
Well, it would be devastating because typically those children come from low-income families who could not afford tuition. It would be devastating for schools as well. Schools it would impact all children, regardless of what their immigration status is. I mean, even children who have legal status would be impacted because their friends and classmates would be in jeopardy. And also it would affect funding because schools are funded on a per student basis. So if you have fewer students, then schools get less money.
What should we prioritize if we are worried about the consequences that you just shared and we want to protect our immigrant students?
Speak out if you feel like you can. I know that some school districts have been really proactive in protecting families. They've set up know your rights information nights. They've provided free legal services or connected families with local nonprofits that provide free legal services. They've hired more counselors to help children deal with anxiety and fear and, depression and mental health struggles. They've also encouraged families to come up with childcare plans in case a parent is arrested while a child is at school.
Si quieres leer la historia completa de Carolyn Jones, visita kpbs.org/noticias.